based off a video I did about Patrick Patterson, the NBA player, married to the white woman. And he went a little too, left as far as defending her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, that's how it is. Some songs gonna be crazy, Usually I save those songs for the late night streams. I actually played it last night. I played the song last night. I said, you know what, let me play it a little bit on this stream. Cause that switch up in the song is classic, man. Now let's see who's here in the chat already. True ATLN, Atlanta Light, K Nicole, 757 Primetime, Ernest Wilcox, Letters of Satan, Vern 85, Vern, The Red Lens, Book Outer Case, Virgo, what's up, Gregory, RCH, T Malone, what's going on, Triple S Jedi, Johnny, King, Timothy, Marie M, what's good, Rue 864, what's up, Vicos, Jarice, LD, A Rush. Make sure y'all like the stream too. But yeah, I definitely wanted to touch base on this because I haven't spoken about IR dating, and I noticed that for some reason it is a trigger to a lot of black women. A lot of black women get very triggered, especially when it comes to black men with non-black women. It's either colorism or, you love white women. Y'all know the book, the same old. But then they will claim they get approached a lot. So which one is it? Either you're not getting approached or these guys don't approach you because of your skin tone. But what y'all got to understand is when they say they're not getting approached, what they're saying is they're not getting approached by the men they want. They're getting approached by men they think are lames, because in 2019, most women are doing the approaching. They are pursuing these guys. They want to pick and choose the men that they want. They have grown so impatient that they want to pursue men, no matter if that man is single, married, dating a woman. They're just so fixated on getting a guy who other women want. That is his most attractive feature to them, is the fact that he's already taken. And then they get their feelings hurt when they realize he ain't leaving his wife. Then they want to put him on blast. Well, I did a video about Patrick Patterson. Of course, there was a lot of people, not a lot of people. There was some upset people, they thumbsing it down, the angry in the comment section. Why is the truth so angering to people? That's what I want to know. And what's good, Albert? See you. Why don't black women want to hear the truth about themselves and why they're single? Because trust me, they've tried to be in relationships. They've tried and it's failed. It's failed. I've heard women say that they have less respect for men when the men approach them, especially if that man doesn't fit their, what they like, what I'm saying? But why would you hate the truth? Why wouldn't you want to know what other people are thinking about you as far as dating is concerned? Because the only way you're going to be able to have a breakthrough is if you actually understand the way men think in 2019. But I don't think women will ever truly know, because they think if they look good and they got nice, nice tits and a nice round shaped asset, they believe that that's going to help them find the men that they want. But all it does is get them pretty much used up That's all it does. They get used up, and then they want to get angry with everybody because they're used up when they should have seen the failure coming. Social media, man. Social media has just, I think, has ruined more people than it's helped, to be honest with you. Or I think it's maybe a little bit more of ruined because people have taken their lives on different platforms. Well, one in particular, Facebook Live. People live their life for social media. It was good, Denise. Now, I'm not saying I agree with what Patrick Patterson said. I think the guy was very emotional in that moment, and I think he said something that I think he was thinking. Some people say things that they're thinking in a particular moment, which is not the best thing to do, because you have to be careful. Social media is undefeated as far as taking your words and throwing it back in your face. This is why you have to be very knowledgeable of what you say. You have to be very careful, especially when you are a public figure. They're going to always look for a reason to go at you. And we're going to get into it. So like the stream as y'all come in. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I notice I get a lot of follows on Instagram, man. I appreciate it. But if you can go over to Twitter too and like the Facebook page, I'd appreciate that too. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all just waiting for me to post a bunch of pictures of myself and show you how I live my daily life, even though I'm not really a, show off. What's funny is that when I was on Instagram in the early years, I would post a lot of myself and various things I would do, because I actually enjoyed social media back then, But now it's getting toxic to the point to where Idris Elba says he's had enough, But with this topic, I just want to speak about choices. The choices when it comes to dating, especially for a lot of young men, young melanated men who have disposable income, who have resources, who have notoriety. They can make money off their likeness. You have to be very careful how you conduct yourself, especially on social media platforms, because what's going to happen is that your words can be misconstrued and your words can be used against you, especially if you're with a non-melanated wife or girlfriend. It's only going to make it worse. Now, what we have to understand, and I think a lot of us understand as young well, let's say young, I'm 30, but I'm still a young man, whatever. I would say us as melanated men, we have to be very conscientious of our image. Let me tell you something about Caucasian males. They are very conscientious of their image. Why do you think you see such a pushback towards the social justice programming that you're seeing on TV and movies when they're denigrating Caucasian males? Is because they actually care about how they are perceived, and they will do whatever it takes to maintain their placement in the world as far as their who they are. Even though you have these feminists and SJWs say things about them, they do care. Now, when we say things about Caucasian people, they really don't care, But when you have other Caucasians going at each other, calling each other names, accusing them of saying this word or being this discriminatory towards other people, you got to understand it's a power play. That's all it is. And they care about how they are perceived. We kind of do not, because we are going to get slung, through the mud. And I think we understand that as men. But I do think that we should push back when people go at us, but we should do it in a very logical way. You know, we can't go out here and make ourselves look like complete morons. Was good, La. And I think that's what Patrick Patterson did. That's why he did that apology, because I think he, in that moment, he knew what he was saying. He knew that he was saying that he thinks that there are a lot of sisters that aren't attractive to him. But because either way, it could go either way. It could be a situation of him saying, you know, I'm not going to date her just because we are the same group, because what if she's unattractive? And it's like, bro, you don't have to date an unattractive sister, you know? But it's all about understanding society, man. Understand that you have to protect your name. You are your name and your reputation, and you have to protect it and not allow people to troll you into changing your mind or your perspective. And that's exactly what happened. Because what I'm trying to figure out is he's been married to her for, I believe he's been married to her for the majority of this year. Well, no, I say majority of this year. I would say at least since the fall. Not fall, God. I would say he's been married to her at least since the spring or summer. So what I'm trying to figure out is why to now, up until now, he's still defending being with this woman. Why are you in the comment section going back and forth with people who are trying to get a reaction out of you? Because that's all it is. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. And you gave them exactly what they wanted. This man issued an apology, and people are still going at him. That's the life of a black male in entertainment. You're going to be the social piñata. You're going to be the social piñata. And you have to understand that you cannot give these outrage mobs what they want. And I want people to know that I don't care who any of you date, because I don't know any of you. So it's very difficult for me to get upset if y'all are dating people of different ethnic groups, because I don't know you. But when I see people go in comment sections or even make videos mad about who somebody's dating, that says a lot more about you. What's good, William? Ant Sound was good. I understand that when people say things, right, and you want to respond and you're angry, you're going to say the first thing that comes to mind. You know, and I think that what I have noticed on social media is that people get outraged over the littlest things, because they're unhappy at home. That's what I've seen. I see a lot of unhappy people on social media looking for a fight. Now, when you are a public figure, especially as a black man, you're going to get it from both sides. You're going to get it from melanated people. You're going to get it from the people who are not. Those people who side with black people to go at other black people. Y'all have seen it. And I've called it out, but people get mad at me for calling it out. So I want people to look at situations that we have. You have a lot of guys with money, fame, but they are basically trapped in their own success. And people have to wonder who they're dating, who they're marrying. You know, the first topic, I was actually going to do a different topic. I was going to talk about men being shamed into being in relationships or getting into relationships. And I've noticed that too, that you have men who are prominent getting shamed because they're not in relationships. They're choosing to be single. And there's women that will shame men just because they choose to be single. Like, why do you care? The same could be said for these interracial relationships. I see more women upset about these celebrities and who they're dating than men who are upset at who black female celebrities are dating. I think the only time you really see melanated males or men, upset is usually when they said something stupid, you know? That's the only time I really see a lot of brothers react. But for the most part, you will have a photo of Michael B. Jordan just in the club standing next to what could potentially be a Caucasian female. He's going to get attacked for it to the point to where he has to respond to it. He got to apologize for not standing next to a black female. And it's just, it's crazy. You know, nobody's forcing, Lonnie Love to apologize for who she's with. You know, y'all notice that Lonnie Love is a staunch in her love for this guy. You don't see her apologizing for it, but you have to see these black males pander and talk about how much they love the sisters. Like, give me a break. That is so, like, stupid. Like, why even do that in the first place? Never been the need to these people, because these people will never be satisfied. Never. They'll never be satisfied. What's going on, Naima? Make sure y'all like the video, stream, whatever. Yeah, or Serena Williams. You don't see melanated men demanding an apology from Serena for why she chose to date out. Yeah, Eve too. You don't see Eve apologize. Eve on TV speaking on black issues, calling out black men. The hypocrisy. That's what we talk about. We talk about the hypocrisy. The fact that you have these women who are married to these Caucasian men getting on TV and wanting to call out black men. That to me, it speaks volumes, you know, and it also is why we end up speaking about them. But for the most part, we don't bother Eve. We're not in her comment section wondering why she's not with a brother. We're not doing that, you know. We just not, because we don't really care like that. We got so much going on in this world, man. We got so many distractions, so many issues that we got to deal with. We're not focused on, oh, this person is with this guy. As long as they're not disrespecting or besmirching black men, we really don't care. I hope people understand this. Now, of course, you're gonna have some of these effeminate, pro-wax who are gonna get in their feelings because she chose to be with a guy who outside of her racial group and not be, with her, not be with him. So you do have those guys who live in complete delusion. And they think because they're, got a black fist in the air, that woman is going to choose them, and they get a very rude awakening. Those are the type of guys who you can tell was raised by a single mother in an environment where they were surrounded by women, and they uplift, this notion that these women want to be with us. And it's like, yeah, that's true in certain cases, but in other cases, you have women who can't wait to hop the fence. And she really doesn't even have a reason to. She just wants to do it. But again, that's her choice. That's her choice, And I honestly think that we are in a society that cares way too much about people's personal life. What does their personal life got to do with them, giving me the best film they possibly can give me, or, giving me the best TV show that they can possibly give me. But because you have a lot of unhappy people, they tend to find any excuse to go after somebody. And we as black men are the social pinatas. Everybody's coming at us from different angles. Either you're not black enough, either you're dating you're dating that Caucasian female, your political ideology. It just from different angles we're having to deal with people. And usually it's people that look like us. You know what I'm saying? And what's very funny is that the people who are the most conscious and for their people are either people that are biracial or people who have biracial children. They're usually, not on that black love like they claim to be. I think when they speak about black love, it's an idea. It's an idea that they forgot. Okay. It's an idea they forgot. They want everybody else to remember it, Shout out to Focus 56. Remember when K. Michelle Dog black man after hopping the fence? Yeah, she said she's gonna go get her Caucasian man, and what happened to that? How y'all notice the people that going the hardest got a white mother or a white father? But y'all don't want to hear that though. I think y'all want me to say something that's gonna make y'all feel good, man. But come on, man. Listen, it's the truth. Y'all know what I'm saying is true. You know what I'm saying. And guess what? Most of their supporters are black people. The idea of black love, the idea of being with somebody black, that's all they give a fuck about. It's an idea. It's not really something they're putting into practice because they don't care, because they live their life outside of social media. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, if you are mixed, you want to be for your people. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. Be for rock with black people. I don't care, as long as you're not a detriment to yourself, anybody else. You can believe in whatever ideology you want to believe in, but understand this: you're going to be scrutinized when you say something that these people don't like. They're going to hold your background against you. Stop falling for an idea. Either you're putting it into practice or you're not. I have my own ideology and thinking. I think to me, my ideology is truly radical. A lot of these people have a very retread idea of how they think a community should be, a hierarchy should be, leadership should be. Everybody else is retreading the same, retreading the same talking points that are boring, no one cares about, no one's going to put into action because it's not going to solve anything. Begging for reparations is not going to solve shit. I hope people understand this. What's good, Josh? Being mixed is hard. I'm sure it is, Denise. I'm sure being mixed is hard. Because you got you got a side that will accept you and one that won't. And then you still got people that may not accept you on that side, But I've also seen people that are mixed. They will go white racist on black people. I've seen that side too. Like, I knew a girl who clearly was half black and I believe maybe half white or half Asian. But she was calling herself white. She had a country accent and everything. And she kept saying she's white, when we can tell that your hair don't flow side to side like these Asian chicks or these white chicks. So we know that you got some Negroid DNA in you. But she just kept denying that side of her. So you do have that element as well with biracial people, But this ain't about biracial people. This is about the fact that you got some of these black females that get in their emotions and feelings when you see these brothers with these white women, and they want to go over there and they want to troll these guys and troll them, until they get the reaction that they want. But as you as a black man, the thing that you cannot do is allow them to drag you down to their level. The block button is free to use. You don't need to download an app for a block button. Why are you going back and forth with those people? You are steps above them. Socially, economically, you're above them. For you to get in the comment section and to be going back and forth with people who don't even have their own picture in their profile pic, that's crazy. Some of these brothers that are arguing with you are married to women that they hate, that they wish they can get away from, but they know it's gonna cost money, And they probably don't even cook or clean. She probably does that, It's an acceptable existence for them. So they hop on social media and they want to chastise guys who are living a different lifestyle than them, dating a different type of woman than the ones they have. What good, Cliff Hakeem? What's going on? But you do have black women who are doing the most when it comes to black men like that. I've seen these chicks try to boycott black men because they're not with a black woman. It's ridiculous. Go about your business. If you're dating Brad or Chad, go about your business. Why the fuck you care about what goes on in the black community? Too many of y'all need to focus on yourselves and your life and then focus on who these guys are dating. Stop worrying about who they're dating. Stop worrying about whether they like light-skinned women or dark-skinned women. So what? I would never explain myself to none of y'all. If I was dating a Caucasian woman, I wouldn't explain shit to none of you. Who are you to explain anything to? Like who are you to tell me anything about how I should live my life? Go fix your own life. There's nothing you can tell me that I want to hear. Yeah, I'm noticing this person is here. This black female swirl is here. Looking for attention. That's how it is. They always come to my channel looking for attention. Now, I don't know if you pro-black people, do you make content? Because I know you mentioned in the chat room you made content. So are you using a different account? Use your regular account. Yeah, man. This is why white men go above and beyond to protect their legacy, to protect their name. They will not have white women besmirching their name. They will not have the alphabet community besmirching their name. They will go to war with the alphabet community. They will go to war with Hollywood SJWs. Anybody that's not black, they will go to war with in order to maintain their social, hierarchy. And we as black men need to do the same. No, you mentioned pro-black female. You mentioned some things in the chat, and I just thought they were very interesting. You said you made videos. I just want to know, do you make videos about just this? You can tell me in the chat room. Make sure y'all like the stream, man. Now, once again, I want to make this clear. I'm not against people dating who they want to date. What I'm against is people shaming other people for who they choose to be with, trolling people for who they choose to be with, trying to socially bully them into either hiding who they're dating or changing who they're dating, you know? And also too, like, to me, I don't know if you can truly be like pro black if you're with somebody that ain't black. I don't know how you can be. What about your relationship is promoting black love or black community, you know? But be that as it may, I think people should stop shaming other people for who they date. They've chosen that person. There's nothing you can do about it. It's over. It's over. And from my standpoint, I think that you have too many mentally ill people on social media on a daily basis. These people wake up in the morning, they hopping on Instagram, they hopping on Facebook to see what's going on. They will sit and watch live streams all day long. They will go from one live stream to another. And it's like they have no social life because they hate real people. They hate real people. They don't want to talk to real people. They rather talk to their social media friends, whatever that means. They make no connections whatsoever. We have declined as a society as far as social skills. Like, we have no social skills with each other. That's why when women get approached, they don't know what to say because they don't have any social skills. I understand you got guys out there that's going to be a little thirsty. But come on. You know? Yes, man, I guess you have a white wife or a white girlfriend because that comment just doesn't make any sense. We're not talking about who you get paid by, bruh. We're talking about relationships and dating, wanting to build a community. Are you building a community with those white people? Then that's not a black community. That's just a community. I'm talking about blackness. I'm talking about black melanated consciousness. You getting paid by somebody, or you having friends of a different race ain't got shit to do with that. I'm talking about the people with the black fists in the air. I'm talking about the people who are walking around with dashikis and, they're walking around with the continent of Africa on their necklaces. That's what we talking about, man. What the fuck does somebody working for somebody got to do with a relationship or dating? Why are people still calling my phone, man? Appreciate that, Giorgio. People got to understand logic. Y'all be coming in here with thinking that you're gonna trip me up, man. What I'm speaking is very rational. Like, once again, when you look at different communities of people, look at the Asians. You can say they're very pro-Asian because they support their own businesses. They marry each other. That's an Asian community. What the fuck having a Becky next to you and let's say you go to a pro-black conference or you at one of these lectures and you got on your dashiki with your Becky next to you Yeah, that's building a community, broski. Especially, let's say you there to speak to the people, right? You there to speak to the people. They turn to you and they look at you, and you got you got Tiffany right there, man. You know, you got Tiffany right there next to you, man. They gonna like what? Or Jessica or whoever, man. Right there next to you. That's why they have a Chinatown or a Korean town. You know, that's a community. And I'm pretty sure they're getting paid by white people too, but they have nothing to do with that discussion. Now they could be brought into the community, of course, you know. But are those people? Will Asians look at them the same way? I doubt it. I truly doubt it. They will not look at those people the same way. Okay, just give me a second. I'm gonna open up the phone lines, take a few phone calls. Okay. Yeah, like the stream, people. This is what the before Thanksgiving stream. Okay. The before Thanksgiving stream. I know y'all gonna get y'all feel of whatever it is, food y'all gonna be eating or whatever it is you're gonna be doing. If this any day now, if this thing loads up. I see you, Brittany. Yeah, you half late. You're half late, Brittany. I've already went through my first part of the show. Now I'm in my second part of the show, which is about taking them phone calls. Okay, is that live? All right. Okay. All right, I'm about to open up the phone lines. Okay. Is this on? Yeah, this is it. The lines are open. Just put the number in the chat, 803-767-4101. You live with JDBlack. What's going on? Hello?
Hey, this is James, man. How you been, brother?
I'm good, man. What's going on with you, man?
Man, good, man. Glad I caught you, man. I got a question for you, man. You've been on point lately, and I'm kind of tying into some of your other videos that you had the other day, man, when you were talking about when females step up. But how do you feel about women of the non-African American community speaking up, such as you got Kim Kardashian that'll speak up, on black issues, and even Kaepernick's chick. I didn't even know she wasn't black until the other day. Somebody told me she was something else. I was a little confused. So I mean, how do you feel about when they break into that space and they actually get to speak up for issues and people will actually listen to them?
I mean, it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. You know, if they want to speak on black issues. My thing is like when you got people who are pro-black and they're conscious, right? And they will chastise other black people for not being where they're at, right? But you have a whole non-black woman. I think that's where the problem comes into play, you know?
Okay, I see that. Yeah, man, I love what you do, man. Keep doing your thing, man. And like I said, don't worry about what everybody else saying, man, because you spitting the real, man. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right.
No problem, man.
All right, shout out to him. First caller. All right. There was one missed caller. The lines are open, you know? Listen, if you got these brothers that want to love these non-black women, do so, man. I'm not one of these people that's going to tell you not to. You know, I think life should be lived. You know, I don't think you should have any regrets. I think you should, you know, do what it is that you want to do. You're live with JDBlack. What's going on? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, finally, man. Yeah, this is Edward, man.
What's good,
North
Edward?
Carolina.
All right.
Yeah, I couldn't get in last time, but I'm glad I got in this time.
Yeah,
but anyway,
all right.
Anyway, so as far as the topic goes, I mean, you know, you ended with here's the problem, man. Too many people are defined by who they have sex with when it comes to black folks. Like, it's said that other groups are generally pretty good at sleeping with people, and then once you get out of the bedroom, like, white people can be pro-white, Asians can be pro-Asians and still sleep with, like, you know, black people sleep with another group. But with us, we have this thing where we're defined by who we sleep with because we have unresolved insecurity issues. And that's something that needs to be addressed. The other thing that needs to be addressed, too, is regarding to the pro-black, and I call them hoteps, because you can be pro-black without being insane about it.
Yeah.
Is a lot of these guys, they are gynocratic. That's what it really is. They don't want to. They're too spineless to actually address the internal issues in the community between the genders. Hey, we can call it black female fuckery, we can call it whatever. But at the same time, they can't stand to deal with it either. So what they do is they have a white one. The white. It's kind of like when you have a disease that manifests because there's other things that you don't do to take care of your health. That's kind of like what that is, to the extent that is. And so these will be the same people that will tell somebody else, you know, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. But here's the thing, you know what pro-blacks also don't say?
What's that?
They never talk about buying black. Not really. It's all about it's all about the past. It's never about what are you doing now.
Right.
And actually anything that's actually tangible, like things that can keep score. Here's the thing: if you're like, I'll give you a perfect example. You got the chick that's the swirler stick in there. Take George Lucas's girlfriend. She's black, right? She got George Lucas to make the movie Red Tails. Very good movie. Made black men look good. That was a black woman that helped make that happen. Real talk. And that was celebrating, black men. They did something in the military. I give her all the in the world for that.
Right.
Take, Kim Kardashian being with Kanye. The point is, it's what you do. Now, who you are can inform what you do, but ultimately it's what you do. Even Kamala Harris with the political thing. Most black men honestly didn't care that her husband was Jewish. It was all illegal shit, and behind her that she had helped her put out. More people cared about that Fruitville Station thing and her letting cops off the hook that shot black men. But see, black women wanted to make it about the husband because they couldn't argue that other stuff. Also, I'll say this too. Let's not pretend like, for the most part, black women have a much more insecurity complex about who somebody is dating than black men. It's because black women do not have the same kind of sexual access to other men, or they're not as look, it is what it is. They're not as valued by other men as black men can be on the general sexual marketplace. And there's jealousy there. I'm not like, black women need to be honest about themselves with that and stop trying to play games. Like, they hide behind being pro-black, or they hide behind certain things. Like, take pro-black dominance, for example. She just said on that, she has a username, and she could call, she called in. Yeah. She has a username that says pro-black woman dominant. But she said in the comment section, in the chat, she's not pro-black. So why do you have a username saying pro-black woman dominant?
That is a little weird. That is a little weird. Yeah.
And these would be the same women as like Holly Berry, and Holly Berry's mixed. But these would be the same women. You did a video on this. These are the same people that they date out and they start crying about. One thing I will say about black men rarely start crying about how racist their girlfriend is. Usually who they date, they live with it and they lay with it. But when a relationship goes bad with a lot of these celebrity females, what happens? The dude was racist. The dude didn't want to accept my daughter is black. And it's like, you slept with him. You married him. You dealt with him. You weren't saying this. So now you want to say all this stuff. This is shout out to Holly Berry. And you see this with other people too. So at the end of the day, it's a whole bunch of using the pro-black moniker on some fucking fake shit. That's really all it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, in today's society, they know they're going to get follows and they're going to get retweets. They're going to get shares by just putting out stuff that they know they don't believe. You know? They know they really don't believe it. They're just saying it just to fit in.
You know how many content creators that I know of that their top like 3 or 4 videos, and if I was you, I would check your stuff too. I'm probably sure you already know that when they make videos about this type of topic, their shit blows up. Like I know of someone, and I'm not gonna mention content creators, but I know somebody that only has 2,000 subscribers. He has a video that's 211,000 that happened a month ago with the Jason Pope situation.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm on his channel all the time. He's a good brother. It's actually a very informative video. But the thing about it is, there's other creators I can tell you that have more subscribers than that. But their top 3 or 4 videos have to do with somebody talking about swirling. Yeah. Like, and we know who's driving that. We know it's the women driving that. Dudes really don't care because at the end of the day, dudes are fucking everybody. It's the women that want that validation. I'm not trying to make it a gender thing, but what I'm saying is the problem in the black community is we are not honest. We are not honest about what's going on. We're not honest about how we feel. We like to shove it under the rug, and because the money is in telling a lie, because the money is not telling the truth, then nobody wants to tell the truth until something busts out, and then all of a sudden everybody want to know why did nothing get handled. So anyway, I ain't gonna take up too much more time, and I'll hop off.
All right, cool. Well, appreciate the call, Edward. All right.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to Edward with the call. Always good calls with Edward. Well, I forgot to mention desirability as one of the factors that have drawn non-black women. Yeah, there are non-black women who are attracted to black men. You know, like I've seen it. Like the last time recently, I seen this brother with this white chick. The chick was in shape. She was wearing some leggings, and the dude was, a brother that was in shape. She had a nice fit body. He wasn't dating no fat white woman, with a whole bunch of biracial kids, So there is also that stereotype that we date anything non-black. I know that's a lie on my end. I believe that's a lie. But you're live with JDBlack. What's going on?
What's going on, JDBlack? Hey, man, my name is Mike, man. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for the room attention, everybody. I'm going to just say my piece, and that's it.
All right.
I used to date a girl that was my ex-girlfriend. Okay. She was always talking about, that she's so pro-black and this, that, and the third. But then she was always talking about swirling. And it only got me to come to this conclusion of how mixed up these women really are and lack of accountability that they have. Not all, but a majority of them are so focused on the attention that they get from doing other things and not seeking accountability for where they are and what they're really supposed to be doing. And you already know when they get that certain amount of attention, and then the attention draws some kind of backlash to the point to where nobody wants to be dealing with them anymore because they see the nonsense that's going on, and some of the fellas too, that we don't all accept accountability on our own part. Just like the gentleman that was talking about it from before, about, telling the truth about most situations that go on, and not only just the black community, but all communities. If you lie too many times and you bring out that same lie over and over and over again, some people will think that it's actually the truth. when it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And when it goes on for such a long time, people begin to get so broadsided to where the bigger problem is at hand that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know when you're constantly playing around with things like this, on topics like this, you play with fire, you're going to what? You're going to get burned. So a lot of people don't understand that when you play around with these kind of topics and there's no accountability at hand, like the Joker said from that movie, the Joker, you get what you deserve. You know, and I see it all the time. I see a lot of chicks out there, they'll say, well, I want to date, I don't want this guy, I don't want that guy, but if you curb so many good men, and now they don't want to be bothered with you, they're going to see what's on the other side of the fence. Yep. And I see it all the time. You know, a lot more men are traveling more. They say, hey, you know what? Since she don't want me, I'm just going to keep my sexual market value. I'm just going to work on myself. If she happens to come along and I meet the right woman, that's fine. But now you get a lot of women saying, where have all the good men gone? Sorry, ladies, you curbed way too many men, and now that the time has come for you to actually settle down, you wonder why you're by yourself, just sad and stuck in the bleachers.
Yep.
You know, and I see it all the time. You know, a lot of us more, we need to try to work with one another, stick up for one another, because we're all we got. We already know that the system ain't geared for us as a people. We already know that.
Yeah.
It's not geared for us. It's geared against us on stolen land. So as much as the people would try to address the lies behind the money, everyone should start focusing more on the truth of what's going on and not be so broadsided about what's going on the outside of our lives, but what's going on the inside of our lives and what can we do to fix it. And that's all I'm going to say, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. All right, Mike. Shout out to you for calling
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man. Get them likes up on my boy Jada.
Oh, shout out to the brother. My bad. I thought you was about to go out. But I appreciate the call, man. Yeah, get the likes up. Get the likes up. As the caller said, man. Get the likes up. All right, you live with Jada Black. What's going on?
Hey, this is Pro Black.
Oh, this is Pro Black Female Dominance
TV.
Dominance. You said you make videos. I didn't see any videos on your channel.
Well, it's on my other channel, you know. But I tried posting the link, but I wasn't allowed to do that.
Okay, yeah, you're not mine. You have to. Well, you could just send it to the email. Send it to my email if you can't put it in, or just write it out.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that.
All right. So, what is it? What you have to say on the topic?
Yeah. Well, you know, I just find it really hard to deal with, you know, the harsh criticism. You know, I have the same point of views as like most of the guys in the chat. I just think it's because I'm a woman, a black woman. It kind of hurts them a little more, and it's like they could dish, but they can't take. You know, like me, I'm friends with like different men that date out their race. You know, and they're all like comfortable, they're not insecure, but it's like because I'm a woman and I date, and I prefer to date white men and men outside my race. They have a problem with it. But it's crazy because we all share the same point of views, and it's like, I don't understand why it always attacks the black chick that, you know, that's open-minded and dates outside her race, and don't judge.
I don't think,
you know, but
I think it's because you got to understand, like, if you got guys, a group of guys that date interracially, right, they all share the same viewpoint because they're dating women. But if you have a black woman who is dating out primarily and she doesn't want to date black men and she has all these criticisms of black men, there's all going to be guys who are going to respond to that. Like, you do know that, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't criticize black men. I just state that I date outside my race.
Okay.
This is what I do. I state my beliefs, and it's crazy because all the guys in the chat are just saying, "Oh, white women love black men," which is not true, because if they did, then niggas won't be in jail.
Okay, well, don't you see what you just did right there?
Protesting like black women do. So
but did you see what you just did? You just criticized them.
I'm not only saying white men love black women. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you just criticized black men though. But you just criticized them. Though.
Keep that again.
You just criticized them when you said that. We said they'd be in jail, and you know.
No, I'm telling the truth. The truth is harsh.
It is harsh. That's why I don't get.
White women love black men. Then why aren't they protesting?
Well, one of the callers did say.
That statement.
Well, one of the first caller, he was like, there are non-black women who are speaking up for black men. So there are.
There's not a lot of black women speak. There's not a lot of non-black.
There's not a lot of anybody speaking up for
women
black men. There's not a lot of anybody speaking up for black men.
Yeah, it is. It's mostly black women.
No, it's mostly black men.
White women don't even like black. White women don't even understand black issues like that. And when they date a black man, it's usually for financial gain.
So you telling me white? Hold on. You telling me? Hold on.
White women date
hey. So you telling me? Yo, are you gonna keep talking?
Black men aren't even desired by.
Yo, are you gonna keep talking?
How?
Hey, pro female dominance. Okay, calm down. So you mean to tell me that white men?
I'm not yelling. I'm smiling.
No, you was talking over me. But hold on. Are you telling me that white men understand black women more than black men do?
I never said that white men understand. I said that I'm saying this because black women, we probably don't praise white men. We don't.
I see a lot of praising on YouTube and social media. I see a lot of praising.
Most black women say, "I want a chocolate guy,"
No, not like that. No.
So
they ain't saying that. It's some of them saying that. It's some of them saying that.
Women, and it's historically known that black men are fatally attracted to white women. And
I think that's a stereotype, ma'am.
So that's why
I think that's a stereotype.
You can't compare the two.
Yes, we can, because they come from the same community, so we can compare the two. And what we have to look at is the praising. Hold on, we have the praising, but what about the praising? There's a lot of white male praising on this platform. Like, there was a girl calling my show talking about white Dizzy. Did you hear that show?
JDBlack, can you name some white men that we praise, like collectively?
No, you're praising their race. You're praising their race, not just a man's name.
White men that we praise.
No, you're praising them as a race.
Name some white women that are praised in the black community. If you want to go there.
Like who?
Do we have to do that? Because
no, I don't have that much time. You listen. I don't have that much time. Listen, I don't have that much time. You got a point you want to make. You got a point you want to make. Listen, man. All this trying to come on here and talk over me, I'm not having this shit. Now say the point that you need to say so I can get to the next caller. You done been on here for 5 minutes, and you keep talking over me, and I'm trying to keep you from hanging up. But damn, say your final point.
Black men in terms of interracial dating and praising white people, we know for a fact that when black men get the opportunity, they get a check. They go get a white woman.
Okay.
And that's a fact. Most
all right.
of them do.
Hey, all right. Well, I appreciate the call. All right. I appreciate the call. Listen, y'all bitches got to stop calling my show trying to talk over me. I'm trying to be calm because Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but I'm tired of you bitches calling my show trying to talk over me. I'm trying to be calm. Whew. This is hard. It's hard. You're live with JDBlack. What's going on? It's hard trying to be nice.
She got that blood pressure up. Don't have a stroke now, Jay.
I'm trying to be cool because I'm trying not to go off. I don't want to go off because Thanksgiving is tomorrow, right? So I'm trying to be mellow. I'm thinking about some of this good food I'm gonna eat tomorrow, man. And I got people online that want to argue and raise their voice, and they trying to get me to the point to where I go off. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so the topic about successful black men mostly choosing white women, average white women, I believe that is true. Me personally, I don't really give a shit, pardon my French, because I'm not going to say I've never dated outside my race. I did, but my preference is black men. When it comes to marriage, I want a black man. At the very least, half black, but then that makes them biracial. But I prefer black men.
Okay.
You know? But when it does come to interracial dating, I do feel as though successful black men choose regular, average, expired mayonnaise-looking white women. And that's their choice. Once again, I really don't care. My whole thing is, if you choose to date interracially, you have the choice. It doesn't bother me. As long as you're not bashing your own race as an excuse for interracial dating. That is the only thing I don't agree with. When I was dating outside my race, it was because he was mad cool. We're still cool to this day. He was very cool, very nice, very sweet. And I knew he wasn't a racist. That's another thing. When you date interracially, you better really make sure you know who you're dating, because anything that they do that could even be perceived as racist is going to reflect badly on you. So once you pass the I know you don't secretly hate Negroes test, he was real cool, and we're still pretty decent friends to this day. But when it comes to settling down, I prefer a black man, but I don't feel as though I need to bash black men. When I was with him, I didn't need to bash black men in order to be with him, because for what?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It wasn't necessary.
That's the thing. Like, it was. I thought you wasn't gonna curse anymore.
For me?
Nah, it was saying he thought I wasn't gonna curse anymore. He said he thought I wasn't gonna curse anymore. But anyway, sometimes you gotta let people know how you feel.
You gotta let these hoes know.
Yeah, you gotta let them know. And the thing is, like, as far as you saying that you prefer black men, you date black men, like the previous caller, she didn't understand that there's a worship of white men going on, and there are sisters doing it. They're putting whiteness on the pedestal. That's going on.
Yeah, it's not every black woman, but are there black women who do that? Yes. Are there black women or black people in general who want to have a mixed baby? They fetishize over mixed children. Yes, I think it's absolutely disturbing, and I think it's appalling that you don't see the beauty in yourself. Now, if you meet someone, you fall in love, y'all make a mixed baby, sure, fine, but you should love your kids regardless. Going out and seeking somebody who looks nothing like you because you have a self-hate issue and you don't want your children. People like that don't need to be in a relationship at all.
Yeah.
Because you have a self-esteem issue. You need therapy.
And you know what's crazy? Like, they'll be the main ones complaining about being called the N-word and, being, dealing with racial insults. They're the main ones saying the shit when they get out of these relationships, these white men. Yeah.
Once again, if you decide to be in an interracial relationship, like, okay, I bagged this white dude, right? He was cute. I used to call him Home Alone. He looked like Macaulay Culkin. So we were having a conversation one day, and he was like, yeah, I was telling that nigga. I said, excuse me? You said who? You said what? Where? Yeah, and it was a dump right then and there. Because I know that you know that I'm black. So the fact that you feel comfortable saying that, and I know why he said it, it's because he hangs around a lot of black people, and they let him say, they don't say anything to him. However, if your friends allow you to say that, then that's between you and them. But you cannot go around every black person saying that, because not everybody plays that. I'm a little black, I don't play it. I'm not a fan of Hispanics saying it, because it's not like the son y'all white.
It is it's cringy when white people sit there and they want to say it, because they are around black people who let them say it, because those black people are the real, what you would call, coons. They love white people, so they like white people being around them,
But also, black people, and I'm from New York, a lot of times, black people don't have that same energy with Spanish people. And when you do have that same energy and you tell them, hey, don't call me a nigga, because you're not a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're not a nigga. Don't call me a nigga. I'm not comfortable with it. They will argue with you tooth and nail.
Yeah.
So I don't argue with Spanish people about saying the N-word, because I know that you're going to try and tell me that, I got black in me. Okay, everybody has black in them. Civilization started in Africa. I just simply say SPIC. And when I say it, it shouldn't be a problem, because you say the N-word, but you don't want me to be offended, even though you look like Christopher Columbus and them. You don't want me to get offended. So when I say something derogatory too, it shouldn't be no problem. She's in the same type of time.
Yeah.
But a lot of black people, once again, if a white person can't say it, an Asian shouldn't be able to say it, a Hispanic shouldn't be able to say it. If you're not black, you're not black. Period.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer the question, I do think that a lot, and I think it's sad, because it would be very nice to see a successful black couple together, and they're not competing with each other, because you shouldn't be competing with somebody that you're in a relationship with. A relationship is a partnership. That's your teammate. He gets a promotion at work, you should be giving him a high five. She gets a promotion, you guys are supposed to be encouraging each other. And when your significant other does something that's really good and they're moving upward, then you should be proud. Like, okay, you should be proud. It shouldn't. I don't see the purpose of being in a relationship and competing. And I don't know. Maybe black men feel as though when they're in relationships with black women, maybe they see it as a competition, even though that's not what it should be. And maybe I don't know. I know a lot of black men feel like black women are not willing to submit. And that is true to an extent, but my thing is, you can only complain about that if you are the type of man that is worth submitting to.
All right.
So.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let you go. I'm happy that you're now. I'm gonna let you get some other calls.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the call, La. All right.
No problem. All right. Bye.
Bye. Shout out to La for calling in. I see you, D-Stroke. What's going on, man? There was 2 callers that called in. The lines are open. You know. Yeah, man. But again, man, y'all can date who you want to date. Just understand this. Don't point your finger at nobody else for who they date. That's all. That's definitely what I would say. So I do a part 2. I may do a part 2. Yeah, I've seen instances of white people doing that. All right, let's see. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on? God damn. I don't know if you hung up. But call back in, brother. I guess your brother. All right. Let's see who this is. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, Jay? I know you don't like doing double dip ins. This is Edward again.
What's good, Edward?
No, I'm not going to be stupid because I ain't trying to really troll people, but I just wanted to address a couple of things now that we got some examples.
Okay.
So shout out to the second sister because she was all right. You know, we had a conversation.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what I was talking about, man. Here's the thing. So as far as the first person,
okay,
like it has nothing to do with her. I knew what it was as soon as I saw the username with the pro-black female dominance because the key word is pro-black female, which is gynocratic. But how she conducted herself with you was a perfect example of how she really feels.
Yeah.
And so when things were being said in the chat talking about, well, we have the same views, we have this, I'm a woman, and that's why they're bashing me, which black men have gone to, dick policing is very real in the black community, and black men are some of the biggest officers in the DPV. So this idea that black men give other black men a pass for dating out. If you're on like the real hotel pro black stuff, that's the first thing you use to knock another brother down if you have the opportunity to do so. Because they know how the women will respond instinctually to it. So that's that feminism BS. At the end of the day, here's the thing. Folks have to be honest about why they do what they do. Yeah. You can date. I know black women that date interracially. I don't know black women that are built a certain way, like they're thinner and stuff like that. They're attractive, but they're thinner, and white boys tend to be more attracted to them than black men are. So they choose the best of what they can get, and it's fine. I know the difference. But this idea that, you want to say, well, I just like white men, but everything else of me is black, but I have a fetish for white men, which is really cold for what that is. And it's always amazing. It's another point I want to make. It's always amazing when you look at Hernandez, who is Hispanic. He had a black girlfriend. A lot of your white cops that shoot. And you in South Carolina, a lot of these mofos have black girlfriends. Yeah. It's amazing how a lot of these guys that they tend to wind up with will always like to try the N-word. They always got to do it. And it's like, at some point, can you all ask yourselves, like, what is attracting you all to these types of white guys? That's the first thing. The second thing, as far as the second caller, is that slick diss that she said when it comes to black guys date mayonnaise, like mayonnaise-looking average white men. This is the insecurity speak. The reality of the situation is the country is a little bit more liberalized where dudes can get away. You cannot look, most of these dudes that got money, because keep in mind, the topic it is black men that are successful, not just the average nigga walking around. I know people forgot about that, but that's the damn time. Black men are successful. Let's define success a little bit. If you're in the top 20% of black men, if you only make $50,000 a year. So if you make $80,000 and $85,000 a year, or let's say $100, you're in the top 1%. Let's be clear about that. So if you're in this, so let's say if you're making 80,000 years or more, and you're dating white women, and I've dated women of three races. My legacy is gonna be with a black woman if I have a kid, and that's because I'm thinking about my legacy. I don't give a damn about what they think about it. Mm-hmm. It's not the same emotional thing. But the point is, these guys are not getting average looking white women. You're not getting ugly white women, and of course I'm gonna say that I'm a black man. How do you know that I'm not saying what's in our best interest? The white boys, you can tell by how angry the white boys get. You can always tell how bad a white female is by how angry a white man gets. And the reality is, that's not true. That's this idea that's some shit that black women project to themselves. But the black men that black women want to have sex with, the ones that they want to give it to, are not dating ugly white women. And they know that. So when they keep throwing that out, that's just some shit that makes them feel better about themselves. And at some point, that may have been true back in the day, but that's not really true anymore. And these millennials are not getting with these ugly workers. That's not what it is. Even these fat white women are starting to find that out. You can't get the black men with money doing that. Mm-hmm. You can't. So, I mean, and by the way, if that was really true, Jay, answer me this. Can you answer me this one question?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen black women get triggered by seeing a black man with an ugly white bitch?
No, I don't think so. No.
Like in social media, like they have these social media uproars, Have you ever seen that tied to like an ugly or fat white chick?
No.
Never. Have you ever seen any of these colorist chicks? I don't know if you listen to those videos. But those color chicks that do videos, they make their name off of that. Like, they're putting up black men as with ugly white women. It's always either racially ambiguous, exotic. Yeah. There's never no fat white woman. Let's keep this all real. So this is the honesty that I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. Folks need to stop being honest. And let's be clear. Now, notice who she said. She said she got with a cute white boy that looked like Macaulay Culkin. Have anybody go look at what Macaulay Culkin looks like right now?
Yeah, go look at him.
Go look. Go look at go Google and that'll tell the story. I mean, this is the shit I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to sexual access. A lot of black women don't have access to what I call the Chris Evans white boys. I say Chris Evans because Chris Evans actually does date black women on the low. It's actually very funny. I found out about because Captain America. But so they don't have access to that unless you're like an 8, 9, or 10. And in my opinion, if you're any racial woman, you're an 8, 9, or 10. You're what I call the general pool. Because you look good, so you can probably jump race. If you're a 5, a 6, a 7, even if you have no baggage, those black women are not really able to jump when it comes to white dudes like that. They're not. Yeah. They make these dudes get easy sex, but they're not getting white stuff like that.
Edward. Yeah.
I just want to address it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. Appreciate you clarifying some more comments.
All right. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right. Shout out to Edward. I want to get to some more of these calls, man. Edward had a lot to say. Pro-black dominance, if you're still in the chat room, the reason why I ended the call is because you did something that I tell callers never to do. I don't care if we're debating or not. You don't talk over a person when they're trying to talk to you, especially when they're the host. That's not how a debate works. I don't know what debates you're watching. Yelling at each other is not debating. If I have to raise my voice, you're out of here. And that goes for anybody. Never raise your voice at the host. It's just that simple. We can have a conversation without people raising their voice. So I want you to understand that. That's why I ended the call. Just that simple. You're not the first person I've had to hang the phone up on because they want to raise their voice and they want to talk loud and they think that we're going to have a yelling. I'm not yelling with none of y'all. I will end that call quickly. I'm not yelling with none of y'all. Okay? If I have to raise my voice out here. You're live with JDBlack. What's going on?
What up, though? What's going on, Mr. Black?
What's good, man?
Oh, man, slow motion. I want to call in and weigh in on that. Honestly, I would say that, when it comes to that, as far as like the type of, white women that I see, you know, WWs that I see, black men choose, you know, I kind of would agree to that stereotype. I do believe, like to me not being the oldest person, but me not being the youngest person, you know, me being in my mid-30s now, that, you know, on average, you know, like I said, I've lived in about 4 states, and I would say that black men, we choose more put together Hispanic women. You know, we black men typically, to me, do not choose good-looking white women or white women that are of an upper echelon. You know, like I said, I went to a university in Michigan, and you know, I was in the military or whatever, been a DOD contractor. So I've been around. You know, I've been to many states.
Okay.
And like I said, if you was to do more of like a case study, you know, you kind of do see black men with lower white women. You know, but I think that's mostly because. Say again?
I have no doubt. I mean, I've seen it too. You know, guys who be with unattractive women, period, whether they be white or black. So, yeah, you do have that.
Well, the reason why I say that is because, to me, I feel like it's more a thing of us being, you know, joined at the hip with these people. Like I said, like I think really we choose better Hispanic women. I think that the narrative since the fall of the black family, which is really the root of the fall of our relationships with each other, that to me the picking of white women or the dating of white women has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the late 90s or early 2000s, you know, when I came of age, when I jumped off the porch, getting a white woman was more about you know, white women would do more of the freaky things. You know, they was giving head at a higher rate than what black women was doing at that time.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a
they was more down to do the freakier stuff. Now, with the Generation Y people, you know, a white woman has a different purpose now. You know, they pick white women for a different reason than we did back in my time. You know, back in my early 20s. So it's a different relationship now. I noticed, you know, and you know, like I said, being around people in their early 20s, you know, being you know, working around different, you know, young men or whatever. I noticed that it's a different situation than it was back then. But I think that is true. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a certain percentage of those relationships where the white woman is taking care of the black man and all that type of stuff. So I think that, you know, it is a thing where I suggest that we would kind of more so go for Hispanic women, you know, if you're going to do that, because like I said, to me, to me, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You know, like when I was in the military, I seen a lot of dudes that, you know, would pick these, you know, these white women and, you know, they would end up, to me, just as down and out on child support, half they shit gone, you know, than dealing with the black women. So, I mean, like I said, that is something to be examined. You know, I think that sometimes we do the white woman thing is a little overrated because of our historical relationship with white America and us being joined at the hip and being educated by them and you know, and being brought up in their society, you know, and having been under them, you know, as a people, you know. So I think some of that is we do kind of give them a little bit more points on the board than we other groups, you know what I'm saying? But you know, like I said, we in a new society where things are more joined, and if it wasn't for segregation and Jim Crow and us, it would have been miscegenation way 100 years ago. So it's only something natural, you know. I think that the whole what they call it, dig watching or whatever, you know, where people are trying to decide where
dick policing,
who you can date.
The dick policing.
Yeah, dick policing. That's what they call it. Yeah, dick policing. I think that is kind of like getting out of control because, like I said, again, like I know since, you know, because I come from a predominantly black city. So when I went to more mixed places or people that necessarily didn't come from that background, I came around black people that was more integrated. You know, they had grew up around whites and had grew up around Hispanics and had grew up around Asians. So they were more integrated. They had less of a a culture identity as a Black American person. So they kind of grew up around these groups. And like I said, when you grow up around another group of people, you're going to naturally be more, culturally close or more within that mind state. Like when I first was in the Navy and I came up around, when I was around California black people or black people from New Jersey, New York, a lot of them people come up in more integrated communities.
Yeah.
So, like I said, sometimes the dig policing is not always fair to everybody because everybody come from different backgrounds and don't come from the same cloth, so to speak. So that's all I want to add to the conversation.
All right. Cool. Well, I appreciate the call, man. Your perspective, all right? All right.
All right, most definitely.
All right. Shout out to him. He has a bit of a different perspective than some of y'all I know. But says you maybe go the Latino route. I do see a lot of dudes, especially if they're from like on the East Coast, especially like they're from like the Northeast or they're from South Florida. You will see them dating more Latin chicks than white chicks. But if you're from a rural area, well, it's going to be mostly either, it's going to be pretty white and black, some of those guys end up dating white women. You're live with JDBlack. What's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hello?
Yeah, you live.
Okay. All right, Jay, this is Chris out of Naptown, man. I just had
What's
to
good,
call
man?
in
All right.
say that, that caller that was out of line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why.
She was out of line.
I had to end that call because, you're not going to talk over me on my show. I don't care who you are. You're just not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my thinking, man. If you had 10 callers that was being disrespectful on your platform,
Yeah.
I bet 8 out of 10 of them would probably be a black woman, man. They don't understand that people don't want that, That's why a lot of interracial dating is happening. Cause
I think this is specifically her. This is her doing. This is her trying to get under my skin. But what you got to understand is people are going to listen. People are going to listen to you, and they're going to see how you act, and they're going to make their judgment, and they're going to see how I act, and then they'll make their judgment. But we got to, it's individual in this situation.
I feel you. But I think it's a typical trait that I see a lot. And as far as when it comes down to date generationally, man, I went to a mixed high school with a lot of white women and black women. And what ended up happening is the white girls will see your potential. You know what I'm saying? Where the black girls kind of wanted you popping right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't realize, 5-10 years down the road, these guys ain't gonna be nothing. I'll tell you this story, man, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was this fine red bone, man, and I'd end up close to her a couple times, but she didn't see me. She see right through me. She's hanging with the popular dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 5-6 years later, I'm having, marginal success, whatever. Steadily employed, get my shine on. I bump into her at the club. We talked quite a few times. She trying to chat me up now. She see me get my shine on.
Okay.
But come to find out, she got 5 kids now.
Oh man. Yeah. That's what you call life humbling you, and I think life humbled her to the point where she saw you. She saw a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, but she should have seen my potential earlier.
Yeah.
My girls be like, well, he hard working her. He's doing good. And a lot of black people, I don't think black women really see a black man's potential. I think they want to go to the thug and popping guy off top. And so a lot of guys that ain't about their life end up, having to settle because they want a fine chick, but they can't really get a fine chick that's black because she wants something else. And another thing is, these black women, they have this motto that they always say, and I know you heard it before, but they say, I can do bad all by myself.
Right.
That's their thing, but you know, you can find you a white girl and y'all can have nothing and move straight into a trailer, bro. And don't have nothing. She'll be down with you. Y'all just be broke and y'all be happy together. I just want to drop that in on you, man.
All right. Well, cool, man.
Good show. Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate the call, too, man. All right.
Yep. Later.
All right, later. Shout out to the brother for calling in. The lines are open. A pro black female, if you listening, if you got some sense, you want to call in for a minute or two to hash this out, you can. Because I'm all about second chances. Maybe. Kelly May, a.k.a. Miss Raquel, was good. Shout out to the good nurses. Hey, JDB. Hey, fam. Here with my late fee. I appreciate the late fee. Make sure y'all like the stream. Arusha, you didn't like the call, Arusha? Arusha, call in. But I think I've said all I need to say. The stream is going on an hour and 30 minutes. I think I've given y'all some entertainment for today. Ernest says, you're nice, Jay. I told you, I'm a nice guy. But don't cross me. I'll give you one chance. You cross me, you're done for life. But again, it's also a show too, you know. Mm-hmm. Edward, don't say that. Don't say that, Edward. You know, yeah, I can hang the phone up. And I think they know I can hang the phone up. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Oh, yeah, hey, what's up, man? This is C-Man.
C-Man, what's good with you, man?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the phone kind of breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Look, I just want to say something like, it's about earlier, like, okay, the caller earlier, you know, she was saying that, the woman was saying something about black men being competitive with the black women, and my thing is, I just feel like that's more of a black woman's type of thing. I've always found that it's mostly in these relationships that it's usually black women who are competing with the black men. So I just feel like, you know, she's totally wrong about that. I can't remember who that caller was, but that was way earlier.
Uh-huh.
And the second thing I want to point out, okay, in the comment section earlier, right, I was saying how I'm not a pro-black, you know, type of dude. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I've never been with a woman outside of my race, you know. And it's not because it's not because I hate other women. It's just that it's just never happened. But see, the reason is I'm not one of those type of black dudes that's craving to be with a woman outside of my race. You know, I'm not craving to be with any woman. It's just, hey, if it happens, it happens.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So that's the thing, like, about this whole narrative about black men only craving to be with women outside of their race. That shit is, to me, just a total lie.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't see black men just needing a white woman. I mean, if it happens, it happens usually.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel. Like, you know, I'm listen. Like, if I be with a woman outside my race, then it just happens. But I'm not craving. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. And that's the thing about it, you know. I mean, I don't know what all this stuff be coming from. I mean, like, and then the thing too that I want to touch on this one before I go is that you got all these black female bloggers and YouTubers or whatever who are always doing these videos about black men dating out. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, if you hate that so much, then why don't these black female YouTubers and bloggers, why don't they post more stories about black men who actually are married to black women?
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. Like, they should, if they got a problem with it, then they need to ignore it and just focus on the black families, because there are some successful black men who do have black wives, but they don't talk about them.
Yeah, they're too busy about these guys, you know, who are the 6th man, 7th man on the bench. You know, they concerned about those guys, man.
Yeah, but damn, I mean, yeah, they might be the 7th man on the, you know, the bench or whatever, but like, since they pro-black, then they should be like, hey, you know, this guy sits on the bench all season, but he has a black family, hooray!
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, I don't really get down with all that pro-black stuff like that, you know, but it's like I said in the comment section earlier, I just thought it was funny how you had that pro-black woman who was praising dating outside of her race, but I'm not pro-black and I never dated outside of my race. Like, that does not make any sense at all.
That's the mentality of some of these chicks,
so,
man.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say that, you know what I mean? I'm letting other callers call in, man.
All right, cool.
I can hardly hear you, so I apologize if I was speaking over you. I can hardly hear you.
Okay, yeah, well, I can definitely hear you, bro. All right. All right. Well, I appreciate the call, too, man. All right.
All right, thank you.
Peace. Shout out to the brother for calling in. It's definitely been an eventful show, you know. Probably so, Jason, because I don't know what it is, man. These chicks come to my channel, they want to speak, and then they end up just getting angry. Like, I didn't get angry. I just got frustrated. Said, fuck it. But I get frustrated a lot. You're live with Jada Black. What's going on? Hello? Yeah, what's up?
Hi, Jared.
What's good? It's Beth?
Yes.
What's up?
If my voice sounds different, it's because I'm still sick.
Oh, you still sick, but you still able to call in and speak to me? That's cool. That's nice.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just want to share some notes about this topic.
Okay.
Well, I want to say that first of all, on the subject, you know how I feel about simps. So if you're a particularly simptastic dude, I feel like every woman of any race is going to walk all over you.
Pretty much.
Because the simp I was talking about before, the sucker that was just, you know, wanting to get licked, he told me, I actually told him, you know, how come, you know, have you ever thought about dating white girls? He said he has. He said that they tried to put him in the sunken place. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing that means maybe they were just walking all over him too. But again, you know, he was acting very spineless and weak. So, you know, you're not really much of a male. So, you know, you got to admit to yourself. So.
Yeah. I would say this.
You know, if they're seeing us more.
Now, go ahead.
I'm just saying that they're seeing us, you know, more, you know, docile and all this stuff. So if they're running circles around you too, maybe everybody else isn't the problem. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just you. Maybe you're just a sucker.
Well, you do got some suckers out here, but I just think that, you know, the mentality of people has changed a lot, and we live our lives through social media, and how we want to be like other people, and we want to like what other people like. I think Instagram has brought out a level of thirstiness from men that has never been seen. You know. You know, so that this is the era that we are in, you
know. Well, I can say, I know some guys, they told me that their experience, sexy time experiences with white women. One has told me, well, you said this isn't a late night creep stream, so maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, we still in the afternoon. You know.
Okay, I'll say that one for later.
All right.
So I was just saying, someone had said something about freakiness, and I know some black guys who have told me their experience was, much like in the Pornhub videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I can attest to that. That's probably true. I do think it's strange that I don't hear more black guys talking more about like Latinas, because Latinas are pretty people.
Yeah, I think dudes do date them. I just think that like if black women were to see us with Latinas, they probably wouldn't say much, because Latinas, I guess socially they fit in with black women more than white women do. So so they sort of look past it in a way, especially if it's New York.
They're the other Negroes.
Yeah, like if they live in New York or South Florida or even in Texas.
They're the new Negroes.
Yeah. Especially them Cuban chicks and Dominican chicks who have, their skin is a little darker, or even Puerto Rican chicks. They just fit in with black chicks. Some of them can even pass as like light skinned black girls.
And I know people, Hispanic people, and like my friends and stuff, and like their upbringing and stuff. There are similarities, a lot more alike than you would think, to be honest. I mean, different, culture, but the experiences and things. There's the new Negroes, so to speak. So yeah, I do get that, and I don't know why that is. Because I feel like, that should, maybe because they don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they just don't live around this many. I don't know. But, I personally, I don't look triggered by who people are dating. Except for Tommy Loren.
Why?
But that's because it's Tommy Loren. It's specifically a Tommy Loren. This is a woman who literally said that Black Lives Matter is the what did she say? It was the new KKK?
Talking about Black Lives Matter is the new KKK?
Like that.
Talking about, she said,
yeah.
She said that? Well, Black Lives Matter is a lot of things. I don't think they're the new KKK. They're irrelevant now, but
But the new KKK?
Yeah.
The new KKK?
Yeah.
Really? No, the new KKK is Kim, Courtney, Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new KKK.
That's the new KKK. I see how you did that there. Well, you got the 3 Ks, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So anybody, any person who's dating her in general, I feel like, what are they doing? Other than that, I don't really get triggered by who people are dating. Mostly because I don't care who people are dating, or about what people are doing, or about what anybody at all is doing. So I think that might be a me exclusively thing. I don't know. When I was younger, I just saw it as more people dating, dating wise, is more of a sign of the times that people don't care as much about that stuff. The world's becoming a little less divided, and then you get a little older, you realize, oh, I was very young and stupid, wasn't I?
Yeah, we all come to those conclusions.
I mean, it might be true in some degree. It might be true, but it's it's not having mixed babies isn't curing racism anytime soon.
No, it's not gonna do that at all. Just create some more people that don't look like their parents.
Yeah, I didn't think it just to that degree, but I just figured it's less of a big deal that people are doing that now. I don't think it should be as big of a deal as it is now. I mean, we have phones.
I agree.
We can see you can see your phone from outer space now, and we're still worried about the black guy up the street bending Becky over. I don't care what they're doing as long as they stop stealing my Wi-Fi.
Oh, see, here you go, Bell. All right, Bell. Well, I gotta go, Bell, but I appreciate the call. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Get well soon.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, bro. Shout out to Beth. Beth under the weather, but she still had the strength to call the show today. But shout out to her and all the callers. That's it for the callers. But yeah, man. Hopefully y'all appreciated the stream and enjoyed the stream. Shout out to the few super chatters that super chatted. I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow. If I do, y'all will be the first to know. But yeah. I appreciate everybody being here and putting your input into the conversation. You know, I may do a part 2. Why not? You know. I agree, Jason. That is becoming troubling, because they're trying to indoctrinate these kids before they are close to adulthood into their bullshit. They want a society full of super liberal, open-minded chaos. That's what they want. They don't want peace. They want chaos. Maria says, my phone be turned off most of tomorrow. Too busy eating turkey and pumpkin pie. I hear that, Maria. Shout out to Maria. She gonna get it in. You know, Maria, I'm gonna get it in too. You know, definitely gonna be eating some good food tomorrow, chilling, relaxing. Shout out to Masha, the producer. Keep creating. Stay true to yourself, bro. Masha, the producer. I appreciate that, Masha. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, man, if you are a parent of kids, keep an open line of communication with them and be careful and be very watchful of where you send them to school, you know, and the people that are around them. You know, because kids are very honest and they will tell you the truth, even when you may not want to hear it. You know? Joe, what didn't sound right? Oh, I think I know what Gerald talking about. Gerald, man, you was But shout out to everybody, man. It was a good stream, wasn't it? It was a good stream, wasn't it? You know. But make sure y'all go and check out the videos I produced today. I did a video today about Joycelyn, the now, I believe, ex-girlfriend of R. Kelly. Also, I did a video today about former NFL player and Hall of Famer Chris Carter. I produced those 2 videos today. Make sure y'all go and check those out. All right. All right. Appreciate that, Case. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do a part 2 to this. Hopefully everybody's back for the part 2. Okay. Also, if you have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you can follow me to keep up, to get video notifications if YouTube isn't giving you those notifications. All right. All right. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have to really say right now. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere there's an unhappy sister looking for a chance to go get her a Brad or a Chad or a Chase. looking for the right opportunity. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, T Malone. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully y'all have a very good Thanksgiving tomorrow. And also Black Friday weekend. There's going to be some stuff that's going to be 30% off, 50% off. I've already done some preliminary buying myself, And yeah, man, I'll see y'all next one. And y'all take care, all right? All good decisions this week.